And 6:30, the conservation meeting for Tuesday, March 21st, 2023 at 6:30 PM at the McDonald Brown Conference Room is now open. Okay, and then I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes for February 7th.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And we'll start with a new public hearing, which I'll read in. Under the Wetland Protection Act, Chapter 131, Section 40 MGL, as amended, the West Bridgewater Wetlands Protection Bylaw and Rules and Regulations, and the West Bridgewater Comprehensive Stormwater Management Regulations, the Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on March 21st, 2023 at 6:30 PM in the McDonald Brown Conference Room, 65 North Main Street, for a notice of intent for 307 South Main Street for proposed site construction of a 6,000 square foot office contractor's building and associated work. Okay, all set.
All right, everyone, my name is Dave Clinic from Collins Civil Engineering Group. I've got the advertisement cards here. So this is a site plan for a contractor's yard on 307 South Main Street in West Bridgewater. And I'll just go through, I know that the town is going to have it sent out for review, which I expected, but I'll introduce everybody and go over the project with you guys and let you guys know where it stands today. With me tonight is Carolyn, Joe, and James Reese. They are the owners of the property, and they will be occupying a portion of the property once it's built.
Where is 307, so I can get it in my head?
It's just down the street from Yangtze on the opposite side.
On which one?
You know where Yangtze
Yes,
is?
yes.
Just down the street on the opposite side.
Okay.
It's that little wooded lot that you always go by, that
A million
nobody's-
times, yeah.
Yeah. So, this is just the existing conditions. There was a ANRAD done back in 2021 by Brooke Monroe, and it was accepted through this conservation. So that's good till 2024. So all the 50-foot and 100-foot buffer zones were based off that ANRAD. So we have the surrounding wetlands and the upland area in the middle. The 100 is the orange line. The 50 is the orange line. The 100 is the red line. The yellow is the property line, and the green is the delineated line by Brooke Monroe under the ANRAD.
How big is that property?
It is roughly 5.2 acres, and we've got about 40,000 square feet.
How much you can use out of it.
Yeah, we only got about 40,000 square feet outside the 50. So that's pretty much it. And we're gonna stay outside the 50 except for one instance, and I'll show you that. It's a curb cut. We wanna bring the driveway away from the 50. We want to take the curb cut and bring it away from the 50, so I'll show you where that's gonna happen. And that will be a state highway permit. So, this is what's proposed. We're gonna propose a 60-foot by 100-foot. There's gonna be 4 contractors' bays, but there's only gonna be 3. There's gonna be a large one on this side. This will be for the Reese's tree farm equipment. And then there'll be 2 contractors' bays that will be out for lease. It's important to note that there's not gonna be any storage outside. Everything is and there's not gonna be any manufacturing on site. There's parking. The entrance is here. This is where we're gonna have to work inside the 50 because the entrance now exists right in here, about 20 feet off the wetland line. We wanna push that over so that the whole entrance and driveway are outside the 50. And that means we have to work within the street, within the state highway, to actually just move this entrance down the street a ways.
So do you leave that entrance that's there now, just leave that cut?
We could, but we still have to cut it wider, so we still have to do work in that.
All right.
And actually, Joe thought about that, and we were gonna suggest it, but because we have to cut it anyways,
Might as well.
might as well.
Extend it.
Yeah, it's not gonna,
I mean, you're not gonna make, if whatever's left is left, right? It's not like you're gonna
Yeah.
cut up and put in a curbing part to fill it in the spot that's,
Yeah, we're gonna, I'll show you on this existing conditions plan, we're gonna, the curb cut, it's kinda hard to see, but, this is the hatched area that we're gonna be working in.
oh, okay.
So we're gonna take this entrance, which starts here, which is right next to the wetlands, and just move it down. And then we had to cut this side a little bit to get the radiuses in for the curb, so that trucks can come in and out without going over the curb.
Mhm.
So regardless of where we put the entrance, we're still gonna need that state highway permit curb cut. And I do appreciate the idea of, you know, because it makes sense maybe not to disturb it, but at this point, because we're gonna be widening it quite a bit, we might as well just pull it right out.
Yep.
All right, so, just a little bit, we can work with the curb cut that's there, because it ends right here, and there's 16 feet here. So we propose to put a tracking pad in, and we'll do all the stormwater management devices for construction, along with the tracking pad. And I have that on a plan that I can show you. But we can start filling, there's gonna be about 3 feet of fill that have to come in because of the water table. But we'll have a nice driveway going in. It's not gonna be steep at all. We've got 30 or 40 feet before, you know, to climb that elevation. So, the building will sit up a little bit.
So is it low right now, so you have to, is it
Well,
like a
no,
dip?
there's like a little hill right here.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna bring that hill up another 2 or 3 feet.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, and that's just because of the water table. We have to do it. Stormwater management forces us.
Now, does that new thing that we have put in for the stormwater management,
They have enough on the,
while going down, the higher you go, like a foot up?
right, and they've got a retaining, if you go to the next, you've got a retaining
yeah.
wall on one side and then sloped on the rest, so it,
So, this looks like it's a steep slope, but it's a 10-to-1. So it's longer than the length of this table, that high. So it's not that steep. In fact, I think this is a 12-to-1. So it's gonna look very gradual going in and out. There will be a retaining wall here and a retaining wall coming around here. And the reason I put these retaining walls in is because it creates space for snow storage. We can have snow storage now on our site without it going into the 50-foot buffer. It's gonna go through the parking lot, it's gonna go into our catch basins, it's gonna get cleaned before it's discharged. So by adding these retaining walls, I have a snow storage here, I have lots of snow storage out here, and a lot of snow storage in the front. This front retaining wall, it's only gonna be about 2 feet high, so it's gonna be like a landscape wall. These walls back here will only get 3 to 4 feet. They won't be that high. And we figured we'll just do the big concrete block retaining wall. It doesn't face anybody, nobody's gonna see it. We'll do a nice retaining wall here for the street facade, but that's kind of the idea.
Is there parking there?
Yeah, there's parking here
Oh, right there,
and here. I got 3 spaces here, and then I got 3 50-foot trailer spaces. They want to keep a couple of trailers on site, and they haul around a big crane, a tree crane.
It'll be inside.
It will be inside, but they're gonna have enough room to move it and put it in, because there'll be doors on the side.
Nothing refrigerated or anything like that, right? No
No.
refrigerated units or anything like that?
So, of course, it's gonna be surrounded by a silt fence. And we have the septic right here, which has been approved by the Board of Health. And I do have it submitted to Mr. White, and we're waiting to get on the ZBA. We haven't got an agenda yet, but we're waiting on that. So they have everything ready to go. And I figured we have a little bit of time, because I know this is gonna go up for a review, and we'll have to send it up to the engineer. So this is we're gonna do underground recharge units. I'm gonna do concrete units instead of like the Caltex. I like the concrete units, especially with a big equipment or big trucks going over it. It's just it's a lot more solid. And it allows us to bring in less fill, actually, than the Caltex. So that's just that's quick. Let's see here. we'll meet all of stormwater management. We're using the same devices we did over on United Drive, catch basin inserts and underground recharge. And the detail is here, but I just wanted to go over the last page here. This is a detail of the entrance. You can see it's quite wide. It's 64 feet. It's 24 feet wide for the driveway. Then you have 20-foot radiuses on each side so that the trucks can get in and out.
This one.
Is there a limit to that? I mean, is there
Yeah,
a limit
I
to
think
state
the
allow
state
that?
wants a minimum of 20, I believe.
Okay. I mean, can you have that whole, well, it's not like you wanna have the whole thing open, but is there like a, if you wanted it wider than
Yeah,
that?
you
is
could
there-
do 30-foot
You can,
radiuses
okay.
and then get it wider, and
Okay.
And I've done that in some instances, 50-foot radiuses, when you're gonna have a constant, like the 53-foot trailers coming in
Yeah.
and out. So that's just, and it will be a granite curb, because it's granite curb out there in the street, and then we'll go to Cape Cod berm. And that will be something that the ZBA will be deciding on, but I know the state's gonna want granite curbing on that. There is gonna be a floor drain back here. The floor drains, all the floors will be into a drain, into a gasoline oil separator, and then into a holding tank.
That's for the trucks.
That's for all the floors, for the doors, the 14-foot openings. All the doors that trucks can go through, they're gonna require a floor drain.
Now, for the other two that you're looking to, propose
Lease.
for
Yep.
lease, is that gonna have the same thing?
Yep, these will be the two that they're gonna lease. This will be the big one they're gonna keep, and they all have floor drains.
Cause you don't know
Yeah.
what somebody's gonna come to you with, like, it's gonna wanna store stuff in there,
Yeah.
landscape or some kind of equipment, or you don't want anything dripping, or,
So when, Tim has showed me, like the stormwater, things that they have to put in the registry, that can include what can be held inside, you know.
Right, and the ZBA will go over
They will, yeah.
what they're
or
gonna
just as long
permit
as
for.
you're prepared for it, that's good.
So, this just gives you an idea of what the wall's gonna look like around the unit. We'll have the concrete block walls. Mr. White said that we need some buffering. It's required by zoning. So, we're proposing one of those chain link fence with the mesh in it, so you can't see anything. So no matter which way you're pointing on here, you're gonna have that screening. And there is a lot of woods between the houses for screening, but we are gonna be up a little bit high, so we wanna make sure that no light hits off the property. Everything will be wall-mounted lights.
Well, don't they make the lights that,
The wall-mounted lights will point down.
yeah,
They'll be dark sky compliant, so you don't see them from above.
yep.
And so we're gonna have one at each entrance. Here's the dumpster pad back here. It's plenty of room for a truck to come in, pick up, and that will be screened in. So a truck can come in, pick it up, and then pull out forwards, which is important. So this would be the wall. You can see that the snow storage will be between the wall and the Cape Cod berm. Everything will be sloping into the parking lot, so all the snow melt will be going through our treatment train before it goes out to the 50-foot buffer. I'll have a discharge here and a discharge here. This discharge flows, to this low point. And really, the whole idea here is to reduce everything going here and a low point here, which we do. I have the calcs and the review engineer will go over all that. But those are the 2 points that and then of course the state doesn't want anything coming out onto their street, so we have to take care of them too.
Mhm.
You mentioned possibility of living on the property.
No living on the property.
Okay.
There won't be
I don't know
any-
what I heard, but
No.
are you using it now?
No, currently it's an empty lot, and it actually currently has drainage that does drain onto the street, so,
It does.
yeah.
There's quite a bit of drainage that comes across the sidewalk because of the
Sure.
hill here,
Sure.
and it's kind of bare soils now.
You don't really have to bring in so much fill, probably go down the street.
So, we're gonna keep everything draining onto our property, there'll be nice loamed area here that will drain out, but we're reducing the runoff to the street substantially. Everything goes to this catch basin here, and then it goes across the street into a wetland. There's like a little stream across the street.
Mhm.
And you know, behind Yangtze, it's all wet back there. It all goes into that major wetland back there.
Yep.
So really, we're just working on substantially cutting down the runoff to here and here in the street. And that's how I designed it. So that, you know, we're pretty much holding everything on site. And then, of course, everything will be loamed and seeded outside the wall, between the wall and the 50-foot buffer. So everything will be stabilized.
When you put in the oil separators, there are notes, I'm sure, on maintenance of that.
There are very
Annual-
strict state regulations for
basis.
maintenance, yeah, and they have to report to the state and the Board of Health. And it's a scheduled maintenance.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like doing that anymore because it's just something that you have to pay for the rest of the life of the building. It's, you know, it's easier when it goes right to a sewer, so you don't need the holding tank. But now with this holding tank, there's even more regulation.
Sure.
So that's pretty much it. You know, I mean, I didn't do a landscape plan. I did show some landscape areas and some snow storage areas, but I figured that they're gonna, you know, they don't want me doing the landscape plan. I'm just a dumb engineer. They get a landscape architect.
Yeah.
And they'll figure that. But I did show them where all the utilities are. You know, we have a pipe here for all the roof runoff is going to go into these underground recharge areas.
Right.
So as long as they know where the pipes are in the underground utilities, the landscapers can come in and do the trees accordingly.
Right.
And the brush. Let's see what else we got here. All right, this is kind of the stormwater management plan. And this is a plan for during construction to keep all the sediment off the street. It involves street sweeping, it involves maintaining stockpile areas, it involves low areas for sediment traps. So any sediment that runs off for the rain goes in those sediment traps in the low areas, and they have to be maintained. This is something that I didn't do to United Drive because we were waiting for the contractor to be, you know, you have to name the contractor and give him the information, but Joe will be the contractor on this one. So his name and information is on this plan, and he's 24/7 responsible for the silt runoff and the construction of the site. So I did do one for this plan. You know, we have a sediment trap, and I show how they have to maintain it, and then we have a tracking pad, which we're gonna do. They're gonna maintain it, but all the runoff from the tracking pad, we're gonna put into this sediment trap here. So, and all this needs to be cleaned and stabilized once the construction is done. So that's just something I added that I didn't do on 2 United Drive, but I wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of it.
Mhm. Looks pretty good to me. Looks like you covered
I will
the
admit, I don't have a
waterfront.
ton of questions because they have come before the town presenting this already to get a lot of the possible issues addressed. So
Yeah.
hopefully the process goes smoothly.
Yep.
But because of the site issues on it and the stormwater that we have to deal with in the high water table, I was recommending a 53G review.
Is that something that we do ordinarily, 53G with a,
A lot of commercial projects we have,
Especially with commercial.
Yeah.
just because of the size and scale and where
seems
this
to be a,
does have the separators and,
excuse me.
And I agree, you know, it should be reviewed by, and, you know, the last engineers that did it, I actually learned a lot from them. But I think I taught them a few things too, so it was vice versa.
So ordinarily, we wouldn't do a 53G, would we? Or
if it's a residential project, we typically don't.
we
But the commercial and any of the subdivisions,
It covers
we do.
everyone, yeah,
It's,
okay.
Set on eyes.
Have you got
So-
someone,
Did you have someone in mind?
I was gonna ask for a couple references, or a couple quotes, Pat Brennan and possibly Ellen and Majors, who we've used before.
Because the
we use
applicant
them
will
a
have to
lot.
get you a check for the 53G
Okay.
And that'd probably be a $2,000 check. I don't think this one's gonna go much more than that, if that.
Yeah, so the DEP gave us a file number, and they responded. Their only comment was, when you go on the mass mapper, the wetlands weren't quite the same, but then they understood that there was an ANRAD done, so
Right.
we're going by the ANRAD.
Anybody have anything to say?
Can
Carol,
you
Steve?
give
I am, yep.
any questions?
Anybody
Yeah,
out there?
just about the water table. I'm behind them at 92 Bedford,
On the other
Okay.
side of the,
on the other side of the woods, on the other side of the wetlands.
okay.
You're a ways away.
So just my concerns, the water table's already
Aye.
up there.
You're at 92, you're right here,
Yep.
yep. Yeah, we're not gonna direct any water to those back wetlands. It's all gonna go to the side by the street. All our discharges are going to the side by the street. Really, we're gonna do some filling, but all the water, all the runoff for the roof and the parking lot, it's all going into the underground recharge areas, and then it discharged over by the street.
Will the filling itself
Um,
displace some of the,
It's not gonna be that much fill. I mean, really 2 to 3 feet of fill, and these days, you're lucky if you get away with 6 feet of fill. So this is a big fill site compared to other sites.
Mhm.
And it's relatively small area, it's only 40,000 square feet. There's not much to it. It's, we can't increase the runoff to the wetlands, that's the state requirement. We kind of got caught between a rock and a hard place because we can't increase the runoff to the street, and we can't increase the runoff to the
Gotta
wetlands.
catch it all.
So we have to capture it all, and we do have a lot of underground systems here, a lot more than normally. And when I first started, I'll tell you, some of my systems weren't that great, but I've been in this business for 30 years, and I've seen systems fail. Mine don't fail. I make sure that they're the proper depth, the proper height above the water table, and then I don't compromise on infiltration. I calculate my system set 0.27 inches an hour. That's less than a quarter inch an hour of infiltration. That's pretty conservative. Probably 1 or 2 were going down in an hour, but I size my systems that way.
Considering you can get a couple inches of rain in an hour nowadays.
yeah, the 100-year storms
Yeah.
are now not so 100 years.
Nope.
I haven't, yeah, I know.
That's a normal thing nowadays.
And the other thing I did, I don't know if it's gonna make you feel comfortable or not, but normally the town requires for me to design all my drainage systems for a 10-year storm.
Mhm.
I do it for 25, so I'm conservative on that basis too. So it's kind of where
I have
we
a
stand.
question. I have a question. I would wonder about the underground drainage, if that's upgraded enough to handle this going towards Yangtze?
Yeah, we, if you read the drainage report, we substantially decrease. In fact, we almost eliminate the runoff into the street. That's how much we cut down the runoff into the street. So,
That's a plus.
yeah.
I'll get dispersed, but I'll get dispersed.
And the review engineer will look at that and either confirm it or deny it, so.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to hire a 53G.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, and then I'll entertain a motion to continue the hearing to, is the next one?
April 4th?
April 4th?
I mean, even if we just come in and let you know how it's going, it could be 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
That would be good, because now we can tell you that we're on the agenda for ZBA, or we can find, if we hear back from the engineer.
Where that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
That
So
would be good.
moved.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Second.
Aye.
Okay, all set.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Looks like you're well on the way. We're working it.
It's gonna look good to have something put in there.
We're gonna make it look pretty.
Thanks, buddy. You want me to try that? Thanks.
Thank you for sending me that plan, I appreciate it.
Oh, you got it, yeah. You already want to say?
Yes, yep.
Oh, yeah, if you have any questions, just give me a call.
Okay, okay,
You can call us to any.
okay. Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, the next one is continue public hearing for One Component Park.
We have Eric,
Yes, hello.
and so we have,
Go ahead.
Okay, excuse me. For the record, Eric Dias, registered professional engineer with Strong Point Engineering Solutions. Here tonight representing DNR Realty for the One Component Park project. Forgive me, I'm battling some sort of cold and I keep losing my voice.
I know the
Hopefully it'll put
feeling.
up with this. But I think we'll get it. So I'll be brief. The last time we were here, I believe we were here in December. And there were three primary things that we talked about. I'm gonna share my screen, or I'll say three primary things that we brought away with. The first was an opinion from the board about an area that we asked to remain within a 50-foot buffer zone. The board's opinion, and it's right here, this highlighted section where my cursor is. We had requested a waiver to allow that paved portion to remain in the buffer zone with an after-the-fact notice of intent. And the board wasn't in favor of that, was the general consensus. So when we revised things, we pulled that back out of there. The board also asked us to take a look and do some line cammering, which we did, going out this way. So, excuse me, let me get ahead of myself. Going out this way, we confirmed that everything that runs from this catch basin across the street and then out to the swale that's by the soccer fields is operational, lines are clear, they're structurally intact, and things are flowing the way that they're supposed to, which is good. And then lastly, we walked away with a 53G peer review. There was a lot of questions about the stormwater management on the site and if we complied fully or to the maximum extent practicable. So Alan Major was hired to do a 53G peer review and actually had some really good insight for this. To that end, let me just summarize briefly. This is our layout sheet showing that we've cut that back. There, we are proposing to do a buffer zone restoration in this area. We have not submitted a formal buffer zone restoration plan yet, but we would expect that the commission would condition that should they choose to approve the project. We would submit it and move forward at that point. With regard to stormwater management, however, let me just get back on track. Excuse me. Alan Major asked us to look at this kind of two ways. The first way is that we have this area in the back, the pad, the concrete pad that was paved in the buffer zone. That is the subject of the after-the-fact notice of intent. So we're looking at that as new construction, okay? The rest of the site we're looking at is a redevelopment project. And the threshold, as you know, on a redevelopment project is to comply to the maximum extent practicable. So what did all of this do to our drainage design? Short version of a very long story, we can get into the numbers, we can tell all of that stuff. We tripled the amount of stormwater management that we're proposing for the site. That was in order to make the recharge volume requirements we needed to, the water quality requirements that we needed to make, and to just attenuate peak rate flows. So we went from having two proposed subsurface chambers of approximately 57 chambers total, so now we have the same size and model of chambers. We have 170 proposed. These things are massive. They're going to do a great job of providing groundwater recharge. We fully meet the threshold for the redevelop for the after the fact notice of intent portion of the site. We meet the threshold for the maximum extent practicable for the remainder of the site by unplugging the entirety of the proposed roof and directing it to the underground infiltration chambers behind the building, where they currently flow, the roof tubes currently flow to the closed drainage system and out to the wetland.
Yeah.
We're taking them offline, we're putting them back into the ground, so that's clean water that we're recharging to the ground. And all our calculations show that we're mitigating flows at all of our design points. We are meeting or reducing both peak rate and volume at all of the design points. I believe we have a concurrence from the peer reviewer, and I don't want to speak for them, I don't know if they're on the call tonight, that agrees that the design is adequate for its intended purpose, that we fully comply with the section for the after the fact notice of intent, and that they can feel that we comply to the maximum extent practicable for the remainder of the site. And since those were the kind of the three big ticket items that we walked away with the last time we were here, we're very hopeful that we can get this hopefully wrapped up tonight if the board is amenable.
Well, it looks good.
I mean, after meeting with the 53G and Eric and his crew, and figuring out what our options were and how much they could actually mitigate from the redevelopment side, I mean, they've improved it considerably, considering there was no real stormwater
Yeah, nothing.
treatment on it
Just runoff.
and no roof drains.
Yep.
We now know the town system's clear and clean, and what they're adding into that, they're gonna be treating it before it gets through the system, so, I mean, they've hit the mark as far as the improvement part.
Yeah. That one.
There are no more continuing issues with Glenmere Street.
Yeah.
With the proposed stormwater that they're doing to the site, and now that we kind of know where the drainage issue is,
Yeah.
I think we can take care of the neighborhood's water problems on that end.
Okay.
Because it's definitely not shedding from the component park site.
No, it's
No.
not.
It's not going in that direction.
Right.
No, everything looks good. Anybody else got anything? Carol, Steve?
No.
No?
I'm still wondering if the drainage going down towards Howard Street is gonna be adequate. I need to be assured of that again, please.
If I may through the chair, yes, so we've done two things for the drainage going down to Howard Street. We break it up into two sections. The first is the rooftop runoff, which we've collected and we're discharging to an underground infiltration system in this location. And it overflows out to the catch basin, the closed drainage system in Howard Street. The remainder of what's flowing out to Howard Street is basically from where my cursor is here, the front parking lot, over this way. Now, we've reduced the amount of impervious area that exists on the site in that location. So we have more grass, we have more landscape area. It's gonna help to soak up that stormwater runoff. So we have shown, the numbers do show, if you go through the drainage report, that we are reducing the flow going to Howard Street. So we are, not only are we not adding flow, but we are reducing the flow.
Okay, thank you.
This one.
All set?
Yep.
All right, I guess we'll, motion to close the hearing. I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Okay, and, motion to grant a waiver to work in the 50-foot.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Alright, okay, and I entertain the motion to grant a waiver to, from strict compliance of Article 54. Entertain the motion, yep.
Yeah, so moved.
Second?
Second.
Oops, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Okay, now motion, entertain a motion to issue a OOC,
Order of conditions.
Order of conditions.
Yeah, so moved.
Second.
and second.
I,
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
And then, I'll entertain a motion to issue, this is the
General stormwater permit.
general stormwater permit.
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Okay, all set, and then you move on.
Excellent. Well, thank you all for your time and your help on this. We appreciate it.
You did a good job, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dad. Thank you, everybody.
One big one, taken care of.
Yeah,
I mean,
a lot.
big improvement on that site. Okay, so, next one is 38 United Drive. What's going on with that one?
Adam, you're up.
Hi, Adam Hunt with Level Design Group on behalf of Ajax United Drive. we've worked with the commission's consultant review engineer, Pat Brennan, to revise the plan since we last met. We've addressed all of his comments. I can go ahead and share my screen, take any questions more specifically if you have them. Someone can allow me to share my screen. I'm not sure. Is anyone seeing anything? I can't
Yep.
tell what I'm sharing.
Yes.
Yep.
I can't see what I'm sharing.
Yeah, it's got the 130 square foot proposed building here.
Can you see the plans?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Yeah, as I said, we addressed all of his comments. Most of them were, TSS and phosphorus removal. We've provided units, for phosphorus removal and revised our TSS calculations. That was the bulk of the comments. The NHESP review for 40 is separated now. They're doing a review for the Landings Turtle, but so that's ongoing, but I think we are approved for 38 for the NHESP. But that's pretty much it. We've addressed most of his or all of his comments. So take any questions you might have.
Anything, Tim?
The only thing I have, Adam, to add is that we will make sure in the order of conditions and the ongoing condition that the snow storage area is well designated. Because you've labeled that for the front part of the building, I believe.
Let me go to the one.
Yeah, which
Yeah, font in between the front and United.
I had made a comment that that's an awful small area to try to get all the snow pushed to. But if that's what's going to be designated, we'll do the signs around the perimeter like we've done at a couple other sites, saying no snow storage, no dumping of snow, just with signs and posts and markers.
And if it gets full,
It
should be
It made
taken
it-
off premises.
Yeah, I mean, there may, depending on the size storms,
Yeah.
have to be snow storage on the parking lot,
Mhm.
but then they can remove it, or that'll be part of their snow removal plan.
Yep.
But we just
Okay.
wanted to make sure that everybody was aware where the snow storage for the site is gonna be and the limitations that they have. But otherwise, they kept out of the 50, stormwater system looks good.
Okay. Anybody got anything?
No.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'll entertain a motion to issue an order of conditions.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I entertain a motion to issue a general stormwater permit.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, you're all set.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks.
And the next one is 40 United Drive.
Which,
Is that Adam still?
That's a continue.
That's gonna.
well, I just got a report from the 53G at 5 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
So, I have not really had time to read it. I don't know whether Adam's even had time to look at it yet.
Hardly.
Um,
Just a little bit.
Have you heard back from Natural Heritage on 40? Because I believe that was,
Well, they need to do a study for the turtle for 40.
okay,
They need to do a study for the Blandings turtle, so that's gonna be a while. We're probably looking to table this till June. We're gonna continue to work with the review engineer, but otherwise, as far as meetings, we're looking to extend it out to June.
Okay.
okay, so then that would be June 6th would be our first meeting in June.
Okay,
So,
That works? Then I'll,
yeah, that works.
okay.
so I'll entertain a motion to continue the hearing until June 6th.
Moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, see you then.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
And then, just talking about,
Car wash is just, if anybody had anything to discuss or wanted to say, I would recommend that the commissioners watch the YouTube if you want to catch up
Yep,
what was
I will.
discussed or presented. The presented proposal was much different than what was originally proposed.
Because
They
I-
backed it up out of the 50-foot for the most part.
I thought coming in here, it was gonna be no way. That was it.
Based on what the original
From what-
was, yeah.
I was sent, and then when they got in here, they revised the whole plans, and it's like,
Because
everything was right in there.
both 307 that was in here tonight and the car wash, I will admit, the town's been proactive meeting as a group, all the departments with these applicants to
Good.
go over the issues.
Good.
And at that meeting, I did express great concern of the 50-foot and highly suggested when they come in to talk to us and the commissioners that they come up with a different game plan.
Yeah. I'll
And
take
then-
a
And they
look at
did.
it.
They had addressed a lot of the
And
concerns.
they're gonna kind of
They've still got some,
reconstruct even like the wetlands there. They're gonna
right, they're gonna
do a lot of protecting of the wetlands there, and
replicate the area that was already disturbed by
Those
the
two
house.
houses coming down?
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So they did a good job.
Is it
So
a big
far.
company?
I don't know. I mean, from
Local.
they showed us a picture of what it's gonna probably look. It's all gonna be state of the art. So far, so good.
Good.
All right, so that one's that. What about
586, they-
Manley? I
Purchaser actually came in
yeah. I heard
looking for
something
some
about this.
information, and they hope to actually have a closing within the next 45 days.
I
So
kind of
that-
heard that the owner or whoever was letting the people there know they had to be out by a certain time.
Right,
So
so
that's a
within the
good,
next 45 days, this should be closed and off the
Well,
books.
those trailers are,
yeah.
So I'll entertain a motion to continue till the 4th.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to continue to April 4th?
April 4th.
April 4th.
so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next one is 15 Pine Tree Drive with for a request of a certificate of compliance.
And I will give you an update. This is one that goes back to, I believe, 1997. I know they had received a partial certificate, but never got the complete.
Wow.
The house has sold hands twice since then, and the last company that was working for the lawyers on the sale held a considerable amount of money from the seller to get this work done.
Oh,
And they're trying to get it released and clean it all up, and asked what they could do. I said, you send me the forms, I will go out and check the location, the site, and make sure it's all compliant with the order conditions from then, and there are no known violations, which there aren't. So at this point, you can issue a final
How
certificate of
did
compliance.
that get uncovered on the closing or something?
On the closing,
Yeah.
they caught that there was an incomplete, which these are starting to crop up more and more. We've
Yeah.
had, 307 had some on it as
They're
well.
being careful, yeah, a lot
So-
more careful.
okay, so I'll entertain a motion to issue the certificate of compliance for 15 Pine Tree Drive.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. And I guess all we have
There are no invoices to sign.
nothing to sign.
I will let everybody know, Bowen Lee heard at the beginning that they are going to be starting the 21 Lincoln Street project for the warehouse and water lines and realignment of the street at the end of the month. They put the signs up today. There has to be a 10-day notification period before they can start as part of the work. But the house on the corner will come down near Dempsey's, and the whole realignment, sidewalks, and everything will start. So
Big construction.
we also are working to notify everybody in the neighborhood that if they want a water tie-in, to get it now, because the town has a 5-year moratorium on breaking pavement after it's been put down. So once that part of 106 and Main Street is repaved and done, unless it's for a sprinkler system, you can't put a road cut. No new gas lines, no new water lines,
Oh, really?
no upgrades. So that's why the car wash was pushing to see if they were gonna need to put a water line in.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple other residents and companies along that part of 106 that have already expressed interest in
Oh, yeah,
tapping into a new water line if it goes.
definitely, yeah.
And 1 or 2 may even just put a stub in so that it's there to hook into
Oh,
future.
this has to do with the,
The line.
The warehouse realignment in the road, the warehouse needs a water line upgrade,
sure.
so
Are they, what are they doing with the shell? Are they taking that down, moving it back, or what's? any
that
word
finally
on
will
that?
become before us in a little while. They're gonna rehab that whole gas station.
So they're gonna take it down completely, you think?
They're gonna probably rebuild it. They may take it down and put something else back, but there will be a gas station there. Shell's gonna stay there.
Okay, they're just
Yep.
gonna have to, they'll just rebuild it, okay.
Yep.
Depending, move back or
New
whatever.
building, new pumps, whatever. It's, yeah.
So they're gonna, that's gonna be a big project too.
Yeah. So
That's
that,
your Dean.
that whole interchange is gonna be
And this is starting when?
April 1st, basically.
Wow. That's gonna be a problem, get
I think
back
we'll
more.
avoid,
And the only other thing I have to give everybody an FYI, at this point, the state legislature hasn't acted or changed anything, so
See these?
our ability to meet remotely is
Oh.
set to end April 1st.
Really?
We can still hold the meetings remotely, but what has to happen is a majority of the commission has to be in person,
Yeah.
and the chair has to be here.
Yeah.
So it's more important that you just let me know if you can't be here in person, and then we can figure out,
Vice chair or chair.
whoever's running the meeting
Chair.
has to be in person.
Okay.
So it's Lee, Mo, or the next person
Down the
down,
line, yeah.
right, would have to be here, but you need a majority. I know Jason has already told me that this meeting and the next 2, he cannot make.
Okay.
He has previous commitments.
Yep.
So going forward, there is a couple other options that I'm working on to see if we can make sure we have a quorum in-house. So like tonight,
need
we wouldn't be
3.
able to hold a meeting because we don't have 3
We need
members
3.
present in person.
Yeah.
So to avoid people on vacation or that
Yeah.
are sick or any issues.
Let them know ahead of time. I mean, if worst comes to worst, we just have to cancel the
Another one
meeting.
under,
No,
I mean, under here.
no. Yeah, it's already signed. Oh, did you sign that or not? Oops, sorry. All right, so
So otherwise, I did not have anything more.
Tim, I'll
Yep.
be here for the next few meetings. I won't be
Okay.
away.
All right.
Can we get more people on the committee?
Well, that's, we're looking at what we're gonna do about Paula. I've reached out a couple times and, haven't gotten any response. So we do need a couple members if we can find them.
Okay.
Can the alternates serve, in the full capacity?
Right, if there's not enough sitting members, then an alternate steps up to sit in as a full member.
Right, okay, so we need to have people that can do that.
What's the difference with an alternate and a regular?
An alternate just wouldn't be the voting member if all the
If
full
you had
members were sitting
Nightfall, yeah.
at the time. And the other thing is that if you're not here, you do have the option to catch up. If you've started the meetings and not continued like United Drive, as long as you've checked the videos, seen all the updated files,
Mhm.
you can still vote at the final meeting and
Oh,
vote
okay.
through the process.
Okay.
But we've got a couple things in the works, so we might be safe after the next couple meetings.
That will be fine. Like you said, the important thing is letting you know,
Right, just let me know, so then we can,
because I've got some things coming up
Right.
too, so. I'll
right,
try
I understand that you're all volunteers.
Yeah.
So you have a life outside of this. This is not,
I mean, worst comes to
So-
worst, we gotta cancel a meeting for something.
right, if we
It's
have
just
to postpone a
it
meeting
is-
or a
It
hearing,
is what it is,
it happens.
so.
I don't think we've ever,
But,
I
we
think
ever done that,
yeah,
maybe
we have a
once.
couple times.
Yeah.
I remember,
yeah, I mean,
a few times.
well, the last meeting that we had, we didn't really have anything to take action on. So it was okay
Yeah.
that we didn't have a quorum to
Quorum,
do
yeah,
anything,
yeah.
which is fine. There was no,
So I guess we just gotta check on all of them.
I will tell you, next meeting, we do have the proposal for the golf putt-putt golf
Oh.
course. Did do a filing, so that's gonna start.
So that's just
The
gonna start.
nursery.
Somebody just asked me about that, and I said, oh, it should be coming, I would assume this spring.
But again, it's all commercial stuff. We don't have any septic systems or residential projects. It's
Right.
commercial only, so.
Yeah, which is good.
Say, Tim,
Yes,
going back to the voting thing, have we done anything as a town to try to, put our vote in to the, legislature about this? What are we doing as a town? Anything?
there has been requests to the state legislatures. I've actually sent one up asking that they please consider the extension, or actually making it a permanent fixture, that the commission, or that members of committees can have remote participation
Remote, yeah.
going forward, and that you don't have to be fully in person.
Thank you.
So it's on their radar. They are working on something. They just can't get it done fast enough, and it was set to expire, and the new governor didn't want to extend it again.
Yeah.
And wanted to let the legislature figure it out, so I get it.
And I am surprised that some of the other boards aren't doing the video.
Yeah, pushed it.
They should all be,
Technical challenge, I
it should be,
guess.
but even just like putting it on for the,
Well, that's why they
For the
did say
cable.
that we can still keep it as a tool in our, because we do get more participation, I think,
Yeah.
from people.
oh, yeah.
And like today, the engineers, we had two of them.
Yeah,
One was sick at home, and
Yeah,
they
Yeah.
travel time. It makes it easier. They
sure.
it's a big time.
Oh, I agree. I mean,
they can attend 3 meetings in 3 different towns all in one night.
this is
Yeah.
the wave of the future here.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Anybody else got anything to say? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
All righty.
Good night,
Thank
guys.
you.